Okay, so getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, we come to a stretch of episodes that's, well, it's rather the peak of Joey's development in my opinion. Anyway, so we get into this here, and Joey in this duel is pushed to the breaking point and even a little beyond it. It's another test of his determination. Only this time, not only is he fighting to free Yugi's soul, but he's also fighting for love. It's very similar to his duel with Merrick in Battle City, with similar turns, a similar plot, and nearly a similar outcome. But more on that in a bit. Joey and Tristan are greeted by Valon, and Joey goes after him on a motorbike. The two then get into a race, which is actually really funny with Joey's mistakes and antics. Seriously, nobody can say to me with a straight face that they did not laugh every single time Joey made a mistake during that race. It's embarrassing. Anyway, Mai also arrives going after Joey as well. Valon gets into an argument with Joey about Mai, with Valon stating that Mai joined darts of her own volition, due to her being sick of being put on the sidelines and watching Joey garner all the fame and glory. Valon then states that Mai can't be happy with Joey around, and that she wants to forget all about Joey and his friends, as they remind her of who she used to be. Valon later reveals that he can't bear the fact that Mai still loves Joey, which basically implies that Valon is in love with Mai, so you've kinda got a love triangle going on. Awesome. I love these types of stories. Anyway, Valon utilizes the same strategy that he used against Duke and Rebecca. Essentially, he creates a suit of armor over and over again, proclaiming that its force is unstoppable. Although I will admit, it got kind of annoying watching the suit of armor reappear constantly, even though the design does look really cool. And I really want to own one, although I'm pretty sure it would cost me millions of dollars. But hey, at least I'll be able to show it off to all my friends. Oh wait, I don't have any friends. Anyway, the Pharaoh and the others then find Tristan and they head off to find Joey. Valon reveals his backstory. Time to bring up version differences again. There's an entire sequence that's completely omitted from the English dub, and this time I was actually able to find a reliable download for the sub version. So, enjoy. In the sub sequence, Valon is shown at a church getting into a fight and healing his wounds afterwards. Sometime later though, a group of thugs entered into the church, stating that it's been bought and that he and a random nun there have to leave. That night the church is set ablaze, with the thugs being responsible. Valon is later seen holding a pipe in an alleyway, with the implication being that he killed the thugs. This is heavily modified in the dub, in which Valon grew up in a detention center getting into fight after fight. He is then taken to a warden, who tells Valon that he will leave him alone if he can defeat all the prisoners in the center using the Seal of Orichalcos, which Valon does. After this, he is confronted by darts and becomes his servant. As much as I applauded the dub for keeping Alistair's entire backstory intact despite the dark themes, I really have to commend them once again for discarding the unused Japanese-only sequence, as kids would not have been able to handle that type of violence. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the television networks like Cartoon Network and 4K TV would have had plenty to say had 4Kids actually included the sequence within the original broadcast. So, go 4Kids! That being said, I am wondering why the heck they never released an uncut version of that. I think that would have been really nice to see. But, no dice. Anyway, Valon then states that he is dueling for himself and not for darts, to which Joey states that Valon doesn't know the first thing about the game and that it's not just about winning for yourself, it's about fighting for the people that you care about and love. Valon plays the seal, and after which he puts on another suit of armor, eliminating one of Joey's monsters in the process. Valon then states that he and Joey both want the same thing, for Mai to be happy. I always chuckle at this statement. Joey counters this, stating that if Valon really wanted to be happy, then he wouldn't have tricked Mai into joining darts like he did. Valon, however, counters once again, stating that the Seal of Orichalcos did more for Mai than Joey ever could have. She was lost, and it showed her the way, as Valon puts it. That's kind of a nice metaphor, although it is pure evil, so, eh. Joey retaliates, stating that he's going to do whatever he can to undo whatever Valon did to Mai once he wins, and he summons Jinzo, destroying a piece of Valon's armor in the process. Seto leaves the Pharaoh and the others behind, leaving them alone once again. Man, what a jerk. Yugi and the others, however, manage to hack into Kaiba's mainframe in the hopes of finding Joey. Valon deflects attack after attack from Joey, and depletes his life points some more in the process. The Pharaoh and the others succeed in finding Joey's location, and they race to the scene. Joey summons the Claw of Hermos, which was a cheer out loud moment for me. Again, I won't go into full fanboy mode. I'm just gonna do that in the conclusion segment, to be completely honest. Anyway, Joey forms a cannon out of Hermos and his Rocket Warrior, with which he blows away Valon's armor. Valon uses a card to create a duplicate of Joey's cannon, however, and he blasts Joey, knocking him down in the process. Joey gets up, and Valon then makes a really questionable statement. He tells Joey to walk away now while he still can. But here's the thing, Valon already played the seal. It's been established that once it's been played, there's no way to get out of the seal, making that line completely pointless unless Valon had another Orichalco stone. Although I've already explained my issues with that, but anyway. Okay, I'm calm. Joey remains strong, stating that he's going to help Mai. Valon then compliments Joey's determination, stating how impressed he is. There's actually a really funny scene that follows this, where Seto and Mokuba are at a car dealership and get into a vehicle. They're then confronted by the manager, and Seto just slyly hands him a check for $500,000. So apparently that's a really high-end car, although not so much to Seto, as you hear the car screeching out of the dealership and down the street. Joey then creates his own set of armor, evening the playing field. Like I said before, the armor designs are amazing here. It's a great form of animation, and I applaud Toei for doing this. After a battle, Valon states that Joey is pushing him to his limits, evidenced by the fact that he's shaking and sweating. And after another battle, they're both one attack away from deciding the match. Mai states that she doesn't need to be saved, and that all she needs is one victory over Joey to prove herself. Joey merges Hermos with one of Valon's cards, creating a new weapon. And after one final battle, Joey finally wins. Before he's absorbed, Valon says that he understands why Joey means so much to Mai, and that's because Joey has heart. And I have to admit, that kind of cheered me up in a way. Even though Valon is evil, at least under the Orichalcos' influence, he is very sympathetic in terms of his backstory. Anyway, Valon instructs Joey to save Mai before being absorbed by the seal. Joey then challenges Mai to a duel. If I may. No. What are you thinking, Joey? Admittedly, he probably wouldn't have been able to get away regardless, but this is still a dumb move. Joey puts up a really good fight, stating that he is fighting with all of his heart and soul. And after Mai plays the seal, it's clear that Joey is way too exhausted from the previous duel with Valon to keep up with her. Mai isn't buying any of what Joey is saying, and Joey states that he will never forget their friendship. He strikes back with Guilford, knocking Mai down, which is a pretty badass scene if I might say, pardon my language. I just think it's awesome. However, his vision starts to get blurry due to the exhaustion. And with no defense, Joey states that underneath all of Mai's rage and anger is a good person. Mai can't seem to go through with a final attack, and she has flashbacks to moments of their friendship, such as Duelist Kingdom and when he defended her against the Winged Dragon of Ra back in Season 2. Joey then collapses as he's too weak to continue, with Mai racing towards her teary-eyed. Joey states that he's glad that she didn't lose her soul, and that if anyone had to, it didn't have to be her. And with one final act, he knocks her out of the seal before being absorbed. And I have to admit, that really made me cry out loud. I mean, I cried for at least 5 minutes after that upon rewatch. It's that powerful to me. The trauma causes Mai to be set free from the Orichalcos' influence, and she goes after Darts for revenge, only to be confronted by Rafael, with it eventually being revealed that her soul was captured. The Pharaoh and the others arrive, and they discover Joey's body. Man, so many teary-eyed scenes. So emotional. The Pharaoh and the others go after Darts. The Pharaoh confronts Rafael, stating that Darts is such a coward that he sent Rafael to do his dirty work for him. The Pharaoh sees a silhouette in the sky, with Rafael explaining that it's the Great Leviathan, and that all it needs to cross over is one more strong soul. He swears vengeance upon the Pharaoh for what he did in their last duel. Well, technically it wasn't the Pharaoh, it was Yugioh. But anyway, and their duel begins. The Pharaoh states that he won't give in to his inner darkness, like he did last time. He states that he's going to teach Rafael a lesson about teamwork, but it doesn't work due to a trap that Rafael has set on the field. The Pharaoh summons the Karibo brothers and activates an ability in which one of them eats the other ones. Kinda reminded me of Pac-Man. Rafael then plays the seal. Seto and the others arrive just in time to witness it. The Pharaoh forms Curry Bandit, I think that's how you pronounce it. A monster that has a hilarious design, and when I first saw it, I was literally rolling on the floor laughing. It kinda reminded me of a puffed up Jack Sparrow. The Pharaoh then summons the Dark Magician, but Rafael uses the seal's power to create an extra row of monsters. Like I said when this arc's review first began, the villains rarely use this tactic, but it's nice that it isn't overused either. Rafael then summons Guardian Iatos, with the Pharaoh being completely stunned. And utilizing Iatos' special ability, the Pharaoh's monsters are added to its power. The Pharaoh states that betraying your monsters only hurts you in the end, showing how much he has grown and learned since their first duel. He summons Timaeus, horrifying Rafael and merging it with his Dark Magician before destroying Iatos, which makes Rafael very angry. Geez, make him any angrier and I'll turn into the incredible Rafael. I'll let you sit with that for a moment. However, by destroying Iatos, Rafael was able to summon his guardian Dreadscythe? I don't know, I forget how to pronounce it. In its place. Rafael then sacrifices every other monster on his field in order to increase Dreadscythe's power, and destroys Timaeus along with the Dark Magician, with the Pharaoh summoning the Dark Magician girl. The Pharaoh and Rafael then get into a really big argument, if I must say. The Pharaoh states that his belief in the heart of the cards is stronger than the Orichalcos, with Rafael stating that the Pharaoh was once ruled by darkness himself. The Pharaoh countered, stating that he was able to conquer that darkness. This is the major difference between the two of them, as while Rafael is contaminated by the darkness of the seal and can't get away from it, the Pharaoh was able to get away from it, and he was able to conquer it outright. The Pharaoh then uses what Yugi taught him, as in the experience of facing his darkness head-on, and uses it in order to open Rafael's eyes. The Pharaoh and Rafael end up in some kind of graveyard, where they witness Rafael's initial entrance into Dark's service. Rafael states there's no turning back and that the only creature he needs is his Dreadscythe. The Pharaoh surmises that by destroying Dreadscythe, he should be able to set Rafael free from the darkness, as Dreadscythe literally represents the darkness within Rafael's heart metaphorically. The Pharaoh summons Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, and Rafael destroys it, but the Pharaoh is still in the game, stating that he'll fight until his last point is gone. The Pharaoh, using a spell card, resurrects Guardian Iatos from Rafael's graveyard. He then summons the Claw of Hermos, merging it with his Queen's Knight to raise Iatos' attack power, attacking Dreadscythe and eventually destroying it. Rafael then loses via spell card, of his own choice I might add, and he rejoices in knowing that his guardians are now free. Iatos' spirit then frees Rafael before the seal can take him, but the Pharaoh explaining that the darkness has lifted from Rafael's heart and that Rafael, in turn, was able to conquer the darkness. The beauty is in the tiny details here, as the Pharaoh explains that Rafael, like him, and like I said before, was able to conquer the darkness, thus setting himself free. Roland arrives, saving them from the collapsing building. Rafael, however, falls to his alleged death. That's kind of a bummer, especially after he was able to free himself and all. Seto and the others are then led by army choppers to a base, with the army tasking them with going after Darts, stating that despite being after Darts for months, he never leaves a trail behind. Seto and the group then make their way towards Darts' evil lair. With that said, guys, I'm going to leave it at that, and leave the final duel for, well, last. As for this material, though, if I had to pick which duel between the Pharaoh and Rafael I liked more, I really wouldn't be able to give you an answer. Both are great in spite of what the fanbase says about their first duel and it not counting. The first duel is necessary before it's intrusive, however, and it serves the purpose of giving our protagonist something to fight for. Their second duel is the culmination of the Pharaoh's arc, with the Pharaoh himself, who has moved on from the darkness through his arc, faces Rafael, who becomes corrupted by his own darkness through the influence of the Orichalcos. It's quite poetic, actually. When we return, we see something that we haven't seen in quite some time. In another filler arc, I must say, a tag duel between the Pharaoh and Kaiba, as the two of them challenge Darts in one last-ditch effort to save their friends. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below as to what you guys think. Feedback is always appreciated. I really haven't been getting a lot of it, so any that you guys can think up will be appreciated. You can follow me on my Twitter page. It'll be linked down below. Like my Facebook page, stuff like that. And yeah, God bless. Bye bye, everybody. So long and take care.